So, you've always dreamed of going on a solo trip, but maybe you're not sure if it's for you. I totally get it. Traveling alone can feel a little scary, but trust me, you can do it. And by the end of this video, you'll be feeling ready to go on your first solo adventure. I'm going to share my top 10 solo travel tips. What to do, what not to do, and insider tips you don't want to miss. Stick around because you're not fully prepared to travel alone until you get this. Let's get started. Start domestic. The first thing I'd recommend if you're thinking about traveling alone is to plan a local trip in the country you're from. Let's say you're from the UK. You can book a weekend away in Manchester or maybe spend 2 days in Edinburgh or London. This will help you get used to what it's like being in a new place by yourself, handling travel on your own, and seeing what it feels like to be solo. The great thing about doing this is that you'll still be in a place where people speak the same language as you. You're familiar with the food, stores, and it's easy to use your phone for directions. Plus, if you're not enjoying it, you can just hop in your car, take a train, and go back home. It's a low-risk way to test the waters and see if solo travel is for you. You'll learn if you're comfortable exploring on your own. It's the perfect step before trying something bigger. Once you've nailed domestic travel, you'll be ready to step it up a notch and go international. Pick a destination. Picking your first international destination can be both exciting and scary, but you don't have to make it too complicated. The key is to choose a place that's solo travel friendly. For example, you could head to Southeast Asia. Places like Vietnam, Thailand, or Cambodia are really popular with solo travelers. They're super cheap once you're there, so even though the flights might be a bit pricey, your overall trip won't break the bank. Now that you've picked a destination, it's time to get into the fun part: planning. Plan ahead. To start planning, you can dive into travel blogs, YouTube channels like this, and even travel journals. Just try and find all the best things to do and see. Want some honest restaurant reviews? Here's a pro tip. Check out platforms like Time Out or the Michelin Guide. They'll help you find the must-visit places to eat. Once you've gathered all that info, it's time to take the next step: booking your flight. Book your flights. Timing is super important here. Make sure to think about the season, the weather, and of course, ticket prices. You don't want to end up paying too much or traveling during bad weather. For that, you can use Google Flights. You can simply type in your destination, and it will list out all the different airline offers in the cheapest order. They even have a calendar feature that lets you see if traveling on a specific day is cheaper or more expensive. But be aware, every time that you keep Googling a destination, the price actually gradually bumps up. So, here's a pro hack. Use a VPN when searching for flights. A VPN makes your computer look like it's in a different country by changing your IP address. Not only will you avoid the price increases every time you search, but you'll also be able to access cheap flight deals which are only accessible to people in some parts of the world. Okay, now let's get to the fun part: building that itinerary. Build an itinerary. A lot of people stress about planning down to the minute, factoring in every little detail like transit times, delays, or even weather changes. Trust me, you don't want a rigid schedule, because nothing goes as we plan, does it? No. So be flexible when planning your itinerary. It's just you anyway. Leave room for the unexpected and be ready to adapt to it. Now let's talk about places to stay. Choose accommodation. When it comes to where to stay, there are many different options depending on your style and budget. Let's break it down. Hostels are a great budget-friendly choice. They're cheap and perfect for meeting other solo travelers. If you're looking to make friends on the road, hostels are the way to go. If comfort's more your thing and you want to pamper yourself, hotels offer a more private, relaxing space. Just keep in mind they can be expensive. Since you're solo, you won't be able to split the bills with anyone. And sometimes some hotels even charge extra for solo travelers, so make sure to check it out carefully first. Other options are Airbnb or couchsurfing. Staying with locals gives you a real feel for the culture. It might lead to some insider tips straight from the locals. But for now, here's my insider tip. Try mixing it up. Spend a few nights in a hostel and a few in an Airbnb or luxury hotel. This way, you'll experience everything. Once your stay is sorted, let's talk about the most important part: being prepared. Be prepared. One of the first things that comes to mind when it comes to travel is packing. For packing, a good bag is key. Something like a North Face rucksack. It's roomy and saves you from paying extra luggage fees. But if you're going on a longer trip, you might want something more suited for that. Check out the links in the description for some options. Whatever you're using, the important thing is to pack light. Only bring what you can comfortably carry. Not only does this save on costs, but remember, when you're on your own, there's no one to watch your stuff if you set it down somewhere, like a restaurant. Next up, phone plans. Check with your provider to see if they offer roaming. If they don't, you could end up with a phone bill that costs more than your entire trip. So what's the solution? Either look into a travel sim before you go, or pick one up at the airport when you arrive. Now let me drop you a pro tip, and it's something that most travelers try to ignore. It's travel insurance. I can't stress this enough. Trust me, if something like your phone, camera, or laptop gets lost or stolen, it will be worth every penny. Don't forget sunscreen and mosquito repellent. It might seem like a small thing, but in some places they can be super expensive. You'll save money by bringing it with you. Also think about electronics. Check the plug types used at your destination so you can charge your devices. And lastly, don't forget apps. 2 must-have apps. Google Maps lets you download maps for offline use, so even if you don't have the internet, you can still see where you're going. And Google Translate. You can speak into your phone and get an immediate translation. Besides that, you can take a photo of something in a foreign language and it will translate it in real time. Now that you are ready to go on this solo trip, I want to give you guys some tips that have benefited me on my own adventures. Staying confident. One key tip is to stay confident. As a tourist, sometimes looking out of place can make you a target for scams and rip-offs. So try your best not to stand out as much as possible. Of course, in some places and cultures, it will be hard to blend in. That's why it's so important to be assertive. If something doesn't feel right, or if you think you're being taken advantage of, don't hesitate to say no and stand your ground. Confidence goes a long way when traveling solo. We've learned plenty of tips so far, but no travel advice will be complete without talking about safety. Safety. Staying safe while traveling solo should always be your top priority, and one of the best ways to do that is by using your common sense. Trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. If you think someone is trying to scam you, chances are they are. Stay alert, especially at night, and avoid walking alone in dark or isolated areas. It's better to keep your headphones off and be aware of your surroundings. Also, if possible, take a taxi instead of walking. And before you hop in, agree on the fare ahead of time or ensure the meter is on before the ride starts. Hey, and traveling solo doesn't mean isolating yourself from everything back home. It's always smart to have a friend or family member who knows your travel plans. Share your itinerary with them and make sure they can track your location if necessary. Apps like Find My iPhone and Android's Find My Device are super handy for this. But remember, you'll need to keep your phone charged and have an active SIM card that works abroad. Avoid getting intoxicated at night and consider staying in more populated areas rather than remote locations. Following common sense will help you protect yourself and enjoy your trip with peace of mind. Alright, let's wrap this up with one of the most important travel tips: being open-minded and enjoying everything on the way. Be open-minded and enjoy. Solo travel isn't just about seeing new places, it's about growing as a person. It's about being more self-reliant and boosting your confidence. You'll be surprised at what you're capable of. Be open to meeting new people. Trust me, the best stories start with a random conversation. Try those unfamiliar dishes. Yes, even the one that looks like it might still be moving. And don't sweat if you make a mistake or two along the way. It's all part of the adventure. At the end of the day, remember that this journey is about you. Solo travel is one of the best ways to spend time with yourself and get to know yourself more. And every experience, good or bad, helps shape that. Conclusion. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, hit like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments, what's your dream solo destination? Click the video on your screen now for more travel tips. I'll see you there.